Well, hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail, and we're actually near Royal Hillsborough and we're out in the sticks here, but where we are is actually outside the Kilwarlin Moravian church, and this church was established in 1755, as you can see. But this church is a church with a difference, because they have a very special garden, which I would near enough guarantee you that you would never have seen anything like it. And so I'll take you in and show you it. But don't know what this wee building here was. You can see the wall there, but I don't know what this building here was. Maybe a shade or something, but I don't know what it is now. But as I say, the church was actually founded in 1755, and it's quite near Hillsborough. It's not too far from Hillsborough in County Down. But Basil Petros Sula arrived at Kilwarlin in 1834 as the new minister. Now, he was a Greek noble and he was a soldier in the independence struggle against the Ottoman Turks. And part of his legacy to Kilwarlin Church is actually a garden to reproduce the terrain of the battleground of Thermopylae. And so the scene then of the historic war, believe it or believe it not, between the Spartans and also the Persians in 480 BC. The actual terrain is set out here, as you can see, and I'll take you out and let you see that a bit closer. But I'm sure you've never seen a garden like that before, with all those bumps and hills and mounds. But that's because he was Greek himself, and he was a soldier. He was fighting against the Ottoman Turks, and when he came over here, he wanted to reproduce the terrain of the battle. And I'll just read out the wee billboard here to you. It says Kilwarlin Battlefield Garden. This battlefield garden is the legacy of Reverend Basil Petros Sula. Reverend Sula, a Greek patriot, found refuge in Ireland after involvement in the 19th century struggles for Greek independence. After training and ordination to the Moravian ministry, he served Kilwarlin Moravian Church 1834 to 1844. And it says the terrain of the garden is a replica of Thermopylae, where a most significant battle was fought between the Greeks and the Persians in 480 BC. And of course the Persians would be what we would call Iran today, the nation of Iran. And Babylon, the Iraqis, were part of the Persian Empire as well. But so pretty amazing, isn't it? I'll take you in and let you see that. And there's a wee lake here as well, which I'm going to show you. There's a wee old lamppost. And I'm going to show you the wee lake here as well, which is amazing. Behind the wall here. As you can see, I'll take you up and show you that anyway. But very nice, isn't it? Very peaceful. A wee bit windy today, but still nice. At least the sun's shining. And that's the church there, and that's the manse, and the manse is still lived in today. And then the grey building is the church hall. Quite a bit of ground here, this church, as you can see. And there's the lake. You get a better wee view of it up here. Small lake, but pretty nice. And so the original church was actually built by the Reverend John Sennick, and he was the first Moravian evangelist in mid-Antrim. He arrived actually in Ballymena on the 9th of August 1746, and it was him that founded in 1746 the Grace Hill settlement near Ballymena, and I hope to do a wee video there because it is absolutely fantastic, and there's loads of history there. And of course, Grace Hill Moravian settlement was actually a refuge, a city of refuge, like the Old Testament cities of refuge, for those that didn't want to get caught up in the 1798 rebellion. And so a lot of people took refuge there with the Moravians. And we'll have a wee look then. This is the church, that's the manse, and that's the church hall, and that's the church itself. But I'll mention the church in another wee video when I'm talking about John Huss and John Huss's connection to the Moravians. And watch out for that one, because you've heard the term your goose is cooked. Well, that goes back to John Huss, and I'll explain that in the next wee video. But here's a wee billboard that I'm going to take the time to read to you, because this garden is unique for a church. You don't normally get a garden like this. It says, "Discover the secrets of Sula's Hollow." This unusual earthworks was built in 1839 after the church was rebuilt in 1834. The hollow was designed by Reverend Basil Patras Sula and built by local people. Its mounds and hills represent the historic battlefield of Thermopylae and its topography as it was in 480 BC. The garden also includes some features not connected to the battle, like a fountain, Alpha and Omega flower beds, and a summer house. This is one of the most unique gardens in Ireland, and there you can see the layout. And that's the caretaker's cottage there. Mount Caldadromos, I think that is, which is just there, and you can see the cottage. And the east gate, which is that mound there. And then that's the middle gate, Colonus, which is just the other side of that mound. And the path of, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, but it's just the other side of the mound. And you can see the west gate is just over there. And then Mount Oita, or Gura, whatever. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. And that's the mound there where that pole is. And then you've got the hot springs, which is where we just walked by, the other side of that hedge. And Kilwarlin Lake, which I showed you, which is just over there. And so I'm going to read this here. This is Thermopylae in County Down. The Battle of Thermopylae, 480 BC, was the foremost battle of the Second Persian invasion of mainland Greece. Emperor Xerxes I led his massive army through Thermopylae, a narrow passage along the coast of the Melianian Gulf. King Leonidas, along with 300 Spartans and about 7,000 Greeks, held this strategic point for a number of days before being betrayed by Ephialtes, or a Greek who led the army around Mount Caldromos to outflank the Greeks. Dismissing the bulk of the Greek army, Leonidas and his 300 paid the ultimate sacrifice to keep Greece safe. This battle still inspires many today. And then there's the Reverend himself. As you can see, it says the Reverend Basil Patras Sula. Basil Patras Sula, 1796 to 1844, was a Greek chieftain and a revolutionary in the Ottoman Wars. After escaping the battle of, I'm not going to try and pronounce that, 1825 to 1826, he left Greece and came to Dublin. He met a Moravian schoolmistress, Anne Linfoot, fell in love and converted to join the Moravian Church. He trained as a minister and took up his calling at Kilwarlin in 1834. Sula rebuilt the church manse, revitalised the dying congregation and laid out this historic battlefield garden. As far as I remember, when he came to it, there was only about 6. And so the Lord used him to build it up again. And as I say, that's the manse there. And then that's the church. And so I'll take you around and let you see the battlefield. There you can see the Trenchman's Cliffs. just there. Pretty amazing garden. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this other than here, to be honest. And that's the pass of Thermopylae. As you can see, he's got it all marked out. And then this is the mound. The mountain. We're going up now, we're climbing the mountain. I wouldn't want to be climbing the original mountain. I'll try and get up here if I can. Have to watch the knees. You get a good view from up here now. You can see the church. That's the graveyard. I'll take you in there in another wee video. Here's a massive house there. I wouldn't fancy having to clean that house. It will take you the rest of your life. There you are. You get a good view here of the battlefield. And the mounds and the bumps. So I'll take you down and let you see it. This is a longish video, but you don't normally get a garden like this at a church, so I think it's worth it. I could maybe get down that way there, it might be better if I can. That was almost painless. Pretty unique, isn't it? There's another wee tiny pond. There's not much water in this one. There's a wee bit. Very little. Very little in that one now. There is a wee bit. And there's the Mount Oita. I think you pronounce that. I'm not too sure, to be honest. I'm just guessing. There you are. You get a better wee view here of the pond. Pretty amazing garden, isn't it? Pretty unique. And in the next wee video, I'll show you a wee bit more of the church. And I think it said this was the trench, this part here, if I remember rightly. It's connected with it in some way anyway. So there you are. Stay tuned for the next wee video, and I hope you have enjoyed this. It certainly is unique because you don't normally get a garden like this at a church. God bless.